Okay, so this is the color line. Do you want me to make it bigger? So select the city in Minnesota. The city refers to a place with administratively defined boundaries and having a mayor. That makes sense, right? Okay. And then make sure you selected a city that you can answer all the directions described below. Okay, so that means please don't select a city, your hometown. For example, but you see that your city is very small city, and then few instances or projects, then you may feel that it's hard to find the answers for each questions. That makes sense. Okay, so be careful. You can select your hometown, but check whether your hometown can answer all the questions. Some students says that the city, these questions cannot be answered because of the city doesn't have any marginalized population. So some students actually did it that way. So do you think it doesn't make sense? No, right? Because I did not ask students to select your hometown, right? You need to select a city that can be examined meaningfully, right? And they help you to understand the theories that can be applied to geographical community. That makes sense? Am I clear? Okay. And then give some introduction. Okay, so give a brief introduction, okay, of this paper in 2 to 3 paragraphs. Okay, that is giving a what the city is, and then the overall picture of the paper. Okay, and then so the background, and then moving on to the background information, the background of the city, right? So you can describe by searching many websites, city websites or US Census data. Okay, you can use it and then find the information about the city in terms of a poverty rate. These are just the example. You can go further. Okay, it is not limited to, but these are some examples. The poverty rates, racial and ethnic composition, education level, crime rates, mean income, etc. Okay, those the factors which are important in social work. And then when you provide the information, make sure you cite. Okay, put the citations. Okay, and then full references need to be described under reference section at the end. Okay. And then with based on some examples you described here, okay, based on the information you described here, and you're going to use these theories. Okay, so first use the social systems approach. So we studied the social systems approach, right? And then we're gonna learn about conflict approach soon. Okay, so today we're gonna touch some conflict approach today, and then we're gonna use a couple of more class sessions to address this conflict approach. And then Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft relationships. So for this one, we're gonna have a time to have the to going over this one, okay? And then social capital approaches, we covered this one, right? The theories we didn't cover is only these two so far, right? Okay. So when you apply the theory, first you need to define the theory thoroughly. Okay, so you don't need to, you don't need to use only the textbook. You can explore other literature. Okay, so when you use the literature, you need to cite the literature. So I like the paper that's explored more, okay, to have a better understanding of the theory. Okay, that is what usually scholars do, and also students who have a very curious about the topic, have interest about the topic. Okay, so do not limit your search only to the textbook. And then once you thoroughly define, then use the definition, okay, to apply the theory to the city. Okay, so you may know how to apply. What do you mean by application of a theory to a case, right? So some examples, all the textbook has some. The textbook is very good job in applying the theories, right? Because the textbook described something and then moving on to next something, and then using many examples, the author Hutchison applied the theory, right? I believe you catch that if you read the textbook, right? So the textbook has very good examples of how to apply theory. Okay, and also we're gonna going over students' paper and then see how the students apply the theory. Okay, so this part is a very important part in the paper. Okay, theory, definition, and application. Okay, so apply theory and then define the theory. So when you are working on this part, see here, working on one by one. That means once you work on social system theory first, right? Then define social system theory and then apply social system theory. That makes sense? So once these steps are done, and then moving on to next conflict theory, right? And then define conflict theory and then apply conflict theory. That makes sense? Okay, so do step by step. Okay, instead of just define all the theory at first and then apply the theories. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay, just go one by one. Okay, so social system theory, define social system theory and apply social system theory. And then next, conflict theory, define conflict theory and apply conflict theory. And then Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft relationship, define and then apply. And then social capital theories, okay? First, the bonding social capital, define and apply. And then bridging social capital, define and apply. That make sense? Okay. And the next one is marginalized population. So what do you mean by marginalized population? That is a population who are in a certain way, who are oppressed and discriminated because of the lack of support from the community, unlike other group of people. Okay, so think about any group. It can be female, it can be older adults, it can be certain racial and ethnic group, okay, or LGBTQ group, or homeless. Okay, so who think about the population who are mostly our become our clients. That makes sense? Okay. And then identify one population, marginalized population, and then name the population and then describe how they are marginalized in the community. Okay, so when you describe how they are marginalized, you can describe some instances from from the news articles. or city websites, right? So you can say, for example, homeless people. Okay, so even though we know that homeless people are marginalized in most of the community, right? But even though we know that, we need a what is it? Site. Give an example. Okay, from the published what is it? Articles. You can use, in that case, you can use newspaper, right? Or you can use some information in city website. Okay, give us some example. Okay, so that people believe that, objectively believe that the population is marginalized in the community, right? Okay. And then describe how social environment is responsive to the need of this population. Okay, so again, give specific examples. Okay, so by finding reliable official government sources or news articles. Okay, and then describe any evidence the city is dealing constructively with the issue. Okay, the issues. Okay, and then next one is this again specific examples, and the next one is find social service program from another country. Okay, another nation. It can be Canada or France, German, or many other countries. Okay, search the internet, and then how the country is dealing with the marginalized population. So see here, social service program for the marginalized population. That is the population you described here. That make sense? Okay. So, and then find useful information. Okay, from the program overseas. So that we can learn from them, right? Even though the United States has many good programs, but who knows? We can learn from their programs as well, right? So try to find the positive aspects, okay, from the program in overseas. That makes sense? Okay. So when you describe it, introduce the program, okay, give some details about the program, how they support or help the marginalized population. Okay. And then if you see that the information is useful for the population in your community, then discuss why the program or organizations would benefit the marginalized population. That makes sense? So you can find the organization, okay, from another country, okay, and give some introduction to the organization's program, and then discuss how this organization program would help or benefit the marginalized population you selected. That makes sense? Okay. So that's it. And then make sure, okay, you followed APA formats. Okay, so time, New Roman fonts, okay, 12 font size, 1-inch margin, and A4 page, okay, double space. Okay, make sure, please submit in Word document, not PDF file. That makes sense? Okay, please make sure this one. Okay. And then, and also important, put headings. Some students do not put headings, but please put headings, okay, for each section. Okay, so you're gonna see how the putting you're gonna see how the example paper has headings for each section. Okay, so for each section means these sections. Okay, introduction, background, theory definition, application. Okay, and then marginalized population in the community. Okay, and then last one is the social service programs in another country. That makes sense? Okay. And then for citations and references, I provide, the link. Okay, so I'm providing 2 links. Okay, so this is a YouTube link. Okay, so whenever you find time, just visit this link and then just watch. Okay, how to put the citations and references. Okay, and then the YouTube doesn't have comprehensive information about many different types of citation. So in that case, you can visit this link. Okay, then you can find many information here. As you can, this is an example. Okay, so you can visit all the what is how do you call, there is a bar, right? For if you visit this one, you can see the bar, the clicking. So you click and then visit, and how the information can be cited and referenced. Okay, so for example, most of your information would be from the city website. Okay, and then you see that the city doesn't have the article on the city website doesn't have an author's name, right? Then you can go to this parts. Okay, web page with a group or organization as an author. So in that case, the city website can be an author. That makes sense? Okay, for example, you went to the St. Cloud or city website. Okay, but the city website doesn't have any author's name. You found the good news articles from the city website, let's say, okay? But the article doesn't have author's name. So in that case, you need to use the organization, which is the city of St. Cloud, is the author. That makes sense? Then you may wonder how to cite. Here. And then there is an example, and actually we had a class activity for this one, right? Okay, so please enjoy the link. Okay, I think it's very useful, and also it's very easy to find, okay, about the reference and citation examples. That makes sense? Okay, do you have any other question? That's it. It's easy, right? Introduction, give an introduction. What did you say? Yeah. Okay. See here. Okay, give it just the okay, let's just in your mind, just psychologically, they just visit, assume that you are writing on paper. First, the section is what? Giving an introduction. Giving an introduction section is what? Describe what this paper is about. Okay, in a 2 to 3 paragraphs. And then backgrounds, about the backgrounds of the city. It's easy. You can find the city website or census data. Collect many information, okay, about the city. Some information about crime rates, or service users rates, or there are many useful information if you go to the website in terms of some demographic information, in terms of some crime information, in terms of the social service usage rates, right? So give just the collect the information and then describe the information you collected, right? And then that's the one is theory, definition, and application, right? Just to define the theory. How you can define? It's easy. You can look up the textbook, and also you can search the internet by typing the title of a theory, and then collect some information for your paper, right? And then write it, and then read a citation, right? And then think about how to apply this information to the city. That is the part you need to think more. Other parts is very mechanically done, right? I think pretty much easy because you're gonna write based on the information you collected, right? But theory application is the part. You need to think more how to apply this information, okay? And then you need to think about, you may have to write and rewrite and refine, right? Because you want to make every information context flow, right, logically, right? But other parts is pretty much easy.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what are the objectives of doing this homework? Like, how is it gonna make me read this?
Okay, how to help this information prepare for a good social worker? Okay, you're gonna work with people living in a certain community, right? You need to find how you're gonna help the clients without knowing any background information about the city. Can you help? You're supposed to know about the community first if we are working as a social worker, right? Yeah. So that's why. And also we need to know about how this world is working, operating. We need to know the mechanism. That's why we need to learn about the theories, right? Because we want to have a better perspectives in understanding certain instances and also certain behaviors. Why the people are behaving that way? I don't understand. You can say that, right? Right? Why there are many racial conflicts in this society? Do you know? What? Right. We need to know about that. Right? That makes sense? Right? Why some group of people are struggling? Why other people are living well? Right? Those are the, that's why we need to learn about the theories. The theories explain that, why that kind of things are happening. That makes sense? Kind of, yeah. So if we have a better view, world view, then we can understand our clients better. Okay. So with that understanding, we can serve our clients better. We can help our clients better. That makes sense? That makes sense? So that's why we are learning the theories. Think about why you need to learn about math. Right? Think about 190, step 190. 193, I don't know. It's the mandatory course you need to have to be on social program, right? So why you need to learn about statistics or math? Why? Do you think it is related to social work? You keep thinking about why, right? Okay. Yeah. So
How many pages is this homework?
okay, so let me show you. I prepared an example paper, okay? So we're gonna see it. So any other question? Yeah.
The due date for this assignment, I think.
The due date? The due date is March 2nd. Okay, yep. Okay, so let's see how many big categories, 5 categories, right? The last one is social service programs, right? So first one is introduction and the background and theory definition and application. And then marginalized population, and then services in another country. Only 5 categories, 5 headings, big headings, right? Okay. So any other questions? No other questions? Okay,
It should be like 4 or 5-ish pages.
4 or 5? Okay, how can you do, how can you answer all the questions in 4 or 5 questions, 4 or 5 pages?
I figured one heading each would be a page.
So you need if you want to be thorough in your paper, okay, then you may want to have a more than that. Okay,
Something like 2 pages per thing, or,
I have no idea. Let me show you this.
I mean, what do you like looking for, like average? Like,
She would have to show one.
Okay, see, this is an example.
Did you say 19?
Yeah.
Yeah, line.
Yeah,
19 pages.
4,322 words.
So tell me what typical page numbers before you study the social program? 6 to 7?
I'd say 3 to 5.
3 to 5 in double space? Okay, so that's your, you can do that. You could have, because you are a freshman and then sophomore, right? But you're on a social work major program, right? Think about, you keep writing a 3 to 4 pages only per semester for one social work program. What you can learn. So I can do that. Think about from you are a professor. Do you think if you have a class size, this one is a 37, think about you need to read 37 papers from 37 students. So which one is easy between just reading 33 to 5 pages long or 19 pages long? Which one is easy? Which one is easier? Formal or the latter? Which one? Reading just the 3 to 5 pages long paper is much easier, right? Right? 19 pages, reading on 19 pages is easy. Because scroll down, 19 pages is easy, or scroll down just 5 pages is which one?
obviously, the 5 pages.
So see here. Professors, giving just a good grade without much comments, right? Giving a good grade much easier for professors. Can make sense, right? Yeah, I would go about that kind, I would do that. Okay, just giving a good grade to everybody. Okay, regardless of the quality, regardless of the the information the students provided. Okay, I can give just a good grade, 100, everybody. I can do that because it's much easier. I don't need a hassle in writing, comments, and then, and then next, what would happen next if I give a low grade? I got many complaints from students. Think about you would be challenged from students, right? Right? If you gave low grade students, right? So I hate it. I hate having that kinds of comments from students. So that's why I give a good grade only to everybody students. What happened? Think about what happened. Would you work hard on next paper? I have never seen that kind of thing. I have never seen that kind of thing at all. Students feel very comfortable. They don't put any efforts, just submit it. Okay, the professor is wonderful, easy going. But at the end, you will learn nothing. You will learn nothing. You don't know how to cite at all, how to cite in APA. You only have the certificates of a social work degree only. But when you are participating in other students from other schools, you may feel that what did I learn? I don't know anything. You cannot participate in the discussion if you don't know anything. So that's why, even though I know that I would get challenged, I would get challenged from you if I give a bad grade. And also it's really hard giving a comments on paper, but I know the result if I do otherwise. That's why I'm trying to give a right scores on the paper. That makes sense? So I know many students, previous students really hate me. Whenever because of my son, I got to know, I really hating what the rate my professors that come, that kind of thing. Did I say that I have two boys? Yeah. So my second son is studying in New York University on chemical engineering, PhD. He's working on dissertation. But he's quite close, with me. Not all children are the same, right? Some children are very close to their parents. So we are joking a lot. We exchange many text messages. One day he said, "Mom, what did you do to students?" So what do you mean? What do you mean? He visited, the read my professors, and this. So that's what? And then tell me that, please, nice to students, see what you got from students. So I visited. So I got what? That is not the fact. I don't do this. So think about, one of the example is that last time I'm recording the Zoom session. I turn off the video, and also I asked the students to turn off the video. It was a kind of experiment because I want to respect their private life. That's why I asked the students to turn off a video, Zoom video, and also I turned off my Zoom video. But I listened to this, did read my professor. That's that. I was ridiculed the students. So I couldn't understand how can a professor can ridicule a students during the class. I couldn't understand, and also how the students can see my face. If ridicule means the face expression, am I right? Right? The video, Zoom video was off. It's quite interesting. So hey, son, that is not about me. I don't do that kind of thing. So, but in some way I felt so sorry about the students because, oh my God, students may feel their way. So I started thinking, what did I do? But I don't think that is what I did, students. It's very hurtful, to be honest with you, it's very hurtful. Because I don't know how to meet the students. I don't know who wrote that kind of thing, but because I don't know who, everybody would be the person, right? So that's really making me feel hard. If the students really hate me, then how I can respond to the students when I walking by and then run into the students. It's really hard. So But let me tell you, I'm trying to be fair to everybody. Okay. And also I tried not to give that kinds of impression, any kinds of impression. So that's why I'm trying to be fair to everybody. Okay. But it's true. I'm very sad whenever I'm reading that kinds of that kinds of comments. Feel like, oh my God, every student hate me. How can I do? How can I do? I really want to have a good relationship with the students. It must be very fun, right? But whenever I'm reading that kind of story, it hurts a lot. But I do not want to change my principle in my teaching, even though I got that kinds of comments for a long time, for years, but I don't change my standard, my expectation from students, because that is my responsibility. So you may blame me a lot after if you got your paper back, but please understand, I don't hate you. I just want you to write better on your next paper. That is the only thing I want. And also, I'm gonna meet you again in the next semester. Jesus, okay, sorry. So I'm going to meet you next semester. That is also another challenging course. That is a research class. So I'm teaching two challenging class. Okay, that is a theory class and the research class. Okay, so but later I got many good comments from students saying that I'm the professor who challenged and they learned a lot from me. So that's what I'm enjoying. Some students appreciate it, some students don't. Okay, so as I said, please do better. Okay, try to push yourself to the limit. Who knows? Among you guys, you know, we may have some good scholars and good social workers. You know, as historically, we have a very good students who are from, this program. So I wonder why they didn't go to another good schools in the big cities. But I know those students are wonderful. Even though if I wouldn't be surprised if they studied in, for example, Harvard. So I think you raise your hand. What is your name?
I was just wondering, so what's like a good range for us to be in for page numbers for this assignment?
Yeah, like minimum, maximum. type of thing.
'Cause like,
I think mostly students did 12 pages without a cover, cover page and the references.
12
12.
at the minimum.
So, yeah, mostly, yes. But the thing is that a number of pages isn't enough. Shouldn't be a sufficient, guideline, right? The quality is more important. Students just keep repeating the same story over and over. I'm reading it and I see this, then I'm going to put redundant information, right? Can be refined more. I would put that kind of comments. That means the points would be deducted from that. That make sense? Yes.
so like, is there a maximum number? 'Cause, like,
There is no maximum number.
Okay, but probably not like 30 pages. That might be like a little too long.
I don't think I have a student papers that had 30 pages. But again, the quality is more important. Okay, so if you want to, you can do it.
Oh, no, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it is 30 pages, you may trying to write a thesis. So,
So 19 is normal.
what did you say?
That was 19.
19 pages?
It's too dark.
Well, the start is 14 because the references don't count.
Oh.
So that's the page, this four, 13 pages. This page is 13 pages. From here, references. Okay. From 15, the reference sections. Okay. So these students used the 3 pages for references. Okay, and the last part is that is the rubric. The rubric, okay, for this part is what I put on the student's paper, okay, to give comments and scores. So that means most of the students, approximately I said 12, right? These students are 13 pages for the body text, for the body text. That makes sense? So, and also the guidelines different. Okay, in this example, the theories, the names of theories are different. Okay, this student didn't put introduction section, so that's why some points are deducted from here. Okay, let's give some introduction. Okay, to this paper, and the background information about this city, Aden, and then theory application. Okay, so this theory is not in the guideline, in our guideline, right? But in the past, the students use this one. Okay, so this is the first level heading and then second level heading. Okay, and then define the theory, and then apply the theory. Apply the theory. Okay, and the next theory is community as a way of relating. Okay, and then define what community as ways of relating. Okay, define. Okay, and then apply. That make sense? Yes. Oh, the numbers, that is for my, for my reference. When I put in the comments, so I want the students to go back to the points I pointed out previously. So just the disregard. Where is the layout? Line numbers, none. Okay, the lines are I did, not what students did. That make sense? Okay. The guidelines are a little bit different, but for you can get some sense about the formats and then how to apply. Okay, this one is capital, social capital parts, and then marginalized population. Okay, and what they defined there, and then how they are marginal, they answered. Okay, and then social activities in another country. Okay, and then that's it. And then conclusion. You don't need to put the conclusion, but if you want, you can. Okay, and then references. That's it. Yes.
So instead of like doing how you like approach and then below that or above that. Or, like,
Social. Okay, so you are see here.
so like instead of how they wrote it, can we do it a little bit differently than that?
So you are talking about theory application parts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say theory right?
Mhm.
And then the first theory is the systems perspective, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So you can define what systems perspective here and then apply the theories here.
Okay.
And then move on to next theory, okay? In this example, what is the next theory? That is a conflict approach. Okay, and then define and then apply. And then what is the next theory? That is Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft, right? Right?
Yeah.
And then define what it is and then apply. That makes sense?
Mhm.
So you do this way, okay? The same, right? Under this section, which is a theory application, theory definition application section. So this section is the first level, and then subheadings. The second level is each theory, 4 theories. That
Okay.
makes sense?
Yeah.
But as you know, there is a what is it? Capital theories, right? Social capital theories, right? So social capital theory, right? So the next theory is social capital theory, right? And then social capital theory has the some 3 more theories, subheadings, right? Right? So you can use a third level heading. Okay. So if it is a bonding social capital, right? So I think that need to be italicized. Okay, that is if it is a third level heading. Okay, so for the level headings, you can go to the website I gave you, and then there is a format. So let's see. Let me open. Okay, this one is only references. Okay, level headings. Google. Okay, let me. See here, the first level heading, right? Right? So that is in our example, that is a theory definition and application, right? And then if it is about social capital theory, right? Social capital theory, right? Social capital theory has 4 subheadings, right? 4 or 3, right? 3 social capital theories, right? Then 3 that it must be third level heading, right? Right? So what's the difference between level 2 heading and the level 3 heading? That is, this one is not italicized, but this one is italicized. That makes sense? But other things are the same, right? Starting from the next, following line, right? Indented, the same. Okay, indented, and then after this. That makes sense, right? Okay, so the same way you can do this way, right? Social capital, and then first the bonding social capital, and then define what bonding social capital is, right? Right? And then apply next, paragraphs, right? That makes sense? And then second capital is what? There was bridging. So do you remember what the level heading, what level? Third level, right? So that is, you need to be bold and italicized. That makes sense? Okay, makes sense or not? That makes sense? Okay. Yeah.
So bridging is under social capital, of course. So it's not the third, it's the second.
I don't know. I'm just
Oh.
giving an example. How the the third level heading need to be placed, and what is the the format.
So what about anything after the third one? Like range equality?
I think we don't have this, we don't have subheadings subheadings of third level heading in our paper. We don't need to. In that case, there must be fourth level heading, right? Right? But I don't think you need to have a first level heading. I think that up to third level heading is the maximum. Okay. So level heading. What is the purpose of having level heading? Anyone who knows? It is very flexible. Some students may have instead of level headings up to third, but some students want to have level headings up to only second. Okay, but I wanted to have in this example about the social capital theories. I wanted to have go to third level heading. Okay. Why is it important? Even though it is not required, but why is it important? Because if you think about, if you have a level heading like this, then you know that what informations need to be here under these parts, right? Right? Think about it. If you don't have a level heading, right? You are writing a paper. If you don't have the title, which information need to be placed under this one? If you don't know, if you don't have a level heading, you don't know what kinds of information need to be under that heading, need to be placed. If you have a level heading, you know what information need to be described in your paper. If you don't have a level heading, maybe you describe some information at the very first and then describe again later, right? That means your paper isn't, your paper doesn't have a good, flow in terms of logic. But if you have a level headings, then you know that's what information need to be placed in the place, right? So am I clear or not?
Mhm.
Okay, let me ask a question. How many of you guys have ever used the level headings before? Raise your hand. Okay, some, okay, but many of you guys didn't use the level headings before. So, okay, so if you read a research article or journal articles, did you find this journal article that doesn't have any level headings, just all the descriptions? Have you ever seen that kind of thing? Even the textbook has the sections, right? For each section, there is a sub-small heading, sub-small title, right? Why? It helps readers to know what information need to be, followed under that heading, right? Right? So that's why it's putting label heading is important, not only for the reviewers, readers, but also for the writers, authors. Okay, so that is for convenience for writers, authors, and also for reviewers and readers. Right? That makes sense? Okay. So do you have any other questions? Other questions? So if you go to D12, you can find this example paper. Okay, did you find? Okay, good. So bottom, as I said before, that is the format, what is it, the guideline? The guidelines are not the same as yours, right? These are the older version. These are, the required theories, I asked the student to utilize is different. Okay, yours case is you need to select system theory, conflict theory, and then Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft, and then social capital theories, right? But in the past, they don't have the kinds of the guidelines. So that's why some different, but on the same the parts which are the same as yours is there's introduction and the background, and then the last two parts, that is a marginalized population, and then the searching the finding on a program or organization that serves for the marginalized population, right, in another country. These are the same, but other parts are not the same. That make sense? Okay. So see, please do not expect that the professors in social program would expect you to write the same amount of a paper as you did before, because you are a major you're gonna be on social work major program. You're gonna be a senior, right? Right? And then you're gonna be graduating in the following what is it, semester, in one year and a half, hopefully, right? That means you are already, how can I say, you are already seniors, right? That means your responsibility and your work performance would be the same at the schools, the college's expectation, right? Not the same as when you are freshman or sophomore. That makes sense? Yes, Haley.
So do you have like a certain amount of references that you want us to have?
So see here, it's up to the students. If you find many useful information from the city websites, from news articles, or U.S. Census data, right? And you are really enjoy the reading and the writing paper, right? Then you can have this amount of references. There is no limitations in putting a reference if you utilized all the information you searched. Okay. So again, let me tell you, there is no page limitation. Okay, no page limit, no reference limit. Okay, you can use it. Yes. Oh, excuse me. Peer review articles, you have to, but if you want to, you can. Peer reviewed journal article, right? If you want to, yeah, why not? If it is about theories, right? If you, as you know, the textbook doesn't have a full description of a theory, right? They describe some part of the theory per each section, right? Right? If it is about family, if it is about conflict theory, they just just to describe the parts only relevant to the, to family, and then the description is very short, right? That is, I think, a big limitation, okay, of the textbook. So then what that means, if you learn more about the theory, then you can read other journal articles. Can you find more information about the theory, right? And then you can incorporate the information in your paper, right? Then you can cite the article, right? Yeah, you can do it. You are strongly encouraged to do that. That makes sense? Okay. So so you are not a high school students. Most of the high school students exams mostly from only the textbook only, right? But college students are not that kind of thing, right? Right? That's why I do not only, our study is not only limited to the textbook. So that's why through our class activities, I ask you, go to the website and find more information, right? The reason why I'm doing this way is because we need to keep practicing that way, because there are many more useful information out there, not only in the textbook. Okay, anyone? Any other question? No other question? Okay, I hope this example paper would help you to prepare for the your first paper. Okay, and also so your many graduate students from our school are really excellent. I can say that they deserve Harvard or other good schools. So that's why we expect, especially I personally expect the students to excel in their learning, and then later become a really good scholar or social worker. Do you know what is his name? He's a graduate from SCSU, but he's president of Federal Reserve in Louisiana. The president of Federal Reserve. Do you know? He's from our school, but not from social work, but from other program. I think what is economics? I don't know. But many good students many good students graduated our school. And also recently I had some really good students from our program. I was shocked, not only me, but also other professors really shocked. Even though she was taking care of her newborn babies, but her exam score, paper quality, in almost all parts was excellent. So that's very amazing. I don't know how she could handle all those things, but she made it. And also right after she graduated and she applied for master program, I thought she could have go to another good master programs in other big cities, but she applied for our program and she graduated. So not only the what is economic the academic ways, but of her behaviors. She presented all the time professional ethical behaviors. So we professors we are so amazed at her, not only her performance, but also how she presented in her behaviors in relationship with professors. So I believe it, many of you guys can do that. Okay. And also recently some students and asked me to write a reference for the PhD program in the U of M. So you can, why not? I can also expect some of you guys will do later. Yes.
I was just wondering what our class activity was.
Okay. Okay, so write down write down about your understanding of this paper. They're okay? That's a very good question. I didn't know that it's already 4:45. So write down your understanding of this paper assignment. Yes.
If we want to set up a meeting.
Yeah, you can email me. Yeah. Yes.
There's a part we haven't loaded.
So your understanding of this paper, what do you think is the most important? Okay. So you only have to write your understanding of this paper. That make sense?
Talking about, there's another part.
So almost everything.
No, there's a part that should whatever. Difficult to pronounce, but it's not.
Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one of the theory. But that's why we didn't cover, there are two theories we didn't cover. That is the Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft, and the other one is conflict theory. We're gonna go over these one. These two, but we didn't yet, but we are going to go over. That is, I think I explained that. Okay. Okay, do you have any other question? No other question? Okay, are you done?
I don't have anything I have to do it at home.
Okay, yeah, okay,
I'm
good.
just gonna head out so I can get it done.
Okay, so class dismissed if you don't have any question. Okay, feel free to leave. So if you have a question, please remain and we can talk more about it.